computer, that would work.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, we're on. Hey, everybody, welcome. I'm Anna Taylor, and tonight I am going to be sharing a lot more about my incredible water ionizing machine, predominantly, a little bit about some of the other things, but mainly about the product and why it is so amazing and how it can actually transform your home into a toxic-free environment. And that in turn helps the planetary reduce chemical waste in the planet, and it can also is massive for your health in so many ways. um, so I'm going to start straight away. I'm going to share my screen. I've got some slides to share with you a little bit about all about this incredible water ionizer. Let's go to present. Let me see, that's going to work. There we go. Just do a thumbs up if you can see that screen, Kirst.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. Hopefully everyone else can. Hi, Laura. Welcome. We've just started. So basically, our company is Enagic. The company that makes this incredible ionizing machine is Enagic. A lot of people think that this machine is a filter. It is not a filter. It is an ionizing machine. And Enagic, the company, is a Japanese company, and they believe that the human body is the basis, or water is the basis of vitality, and long life means water. If your waters in every way are healthy, then you are also healthy. So the company, it says over 45 years, but the company is actually 50 years old. It's an international Japanese company. It's been manufacturing these water ionizing systems for that long in many different forms. And basically, they attach to your tap and they turn your tap water into pure, active, alive, filtered, electronically reduced, hydrogen rich drinking water. That's a real mouthful. We're going to talk a lot more about what that is and what that means in a minute. So these machines that are created, they've created quite a few of them over time, but the main one that I'm going to be talking about today is the Kangen K8 machine, because that's their signature product, and that is the one that they have refined over all of this time, and it has the most functions on one machine. And they are really a quality controlled company. One person will make the machine from the start to the finish in the factory. So it's very much quality controlled. And they are a company that has no debt, and they have 40 offices around the world building in at least 23 plus locations. And their philosophy is about bringing mental health, physical health, and financial health to every home. And I really love that beautiful value. That's a huge, beautiful value to enrich everybody's lives with. So it's an investment into your health, this product, your family's health and the planet health. It's a product that lasts over 25 years plus, but it is also a product that you can invest and you can also run a business from. So it is a business as well, but some people just do it as a product. So this is the K8 that I was talking about. This is what it looks like. It attaches to your normal house tap. Sometimes you need slight adaptations for that, but it's pretty easy to do. And it turns that tap water. So it's not just a filter, but it does have a filter in it. It is a massive antioxidant producer. So it actually is a water. It restructures the water. It's a water ionizer through an electrolysis process that plugs into the wall, and it generates five main different streams of water. And I'll go into what they are in a minute. And you can see on the screen there is a panel, a colored panel on the machine, and they are the different kinds of water that it produces. And you literally just press the button, and inside the machine it goes through 8 titanium plates that are covered in platinum, and it restructures the water to create the different water that you are requiring. So the reason why this machine is also different to a lot of others that are on the market is that it has 8 titanium plates, and they are quite thick, they're quite strong, so they last a lot longer than a lot of other machines, and they are the filtration process is greater, and it also can produce a consistent stream of water, of whatever water you want, for ages and ages and ages. It doesn't need to replenish, it doesn't need to stop. A lot of hydrogen producing machines actually will only produce a little bit, and then you have to wait for a while, and then you have to do it again. And if you're using a filtered water, you often have to fill up the filter and you have to wait, and then you can refill it again. So you won't get that continuous stream. So that's one of the amazing differences about this machine. The other thing is if we're talking different waters, because not all water is equal, and filters are fantastic, but they often, hi Trev, welcome. We've just started.
Right.
Um, just pop yourself on silent. I'll just put you on silent because I'm recording there. Can you manage to do that? Or Kirsty might? Yep, great, awesome. Yeah, so the other thing that is unique about this machine is not only that it can produce a constant flow of whatever water that you require, is that it also has self-cleaning mechanism where it self-cleans and it can last for, as I said, 25 to 30 years. It has a 5-year warranty on it. And I've just found out also the company is now so, what's the word? So they know their product is so good that they will then offer 3-year warranties after your 5 years. So you can keep buying 3-year warranties for the rest of your product's life, which is pretty amazing because they believe in their product so much. Um, so I'll zip to the next slide. So briefly, one of their other products to do with water is this particular one you can see in the picture, which is the Anespa. And this is for the shower and the bath. And the reason I'm going to mention this product is that they both work together in synergy because they're to do with water. And our body is so made up of water. Your skin is the biggest organ of your body and it's highly absorbent. So whatever you put on your skin is going to be absorbed to a certain degree through your skin. So if you're showering in chlorinated water or water with toxic substances in it, you will absorb that into your skin. And it's not the one shower, it's the accumulation over time of toxicity in our bodies that builds up and creates conditions or problems within our systems. So if we can reduce that in any way, this is all about preventative health. And that's been my forte for over 30 years now. Anything to do with preventative health, I absolutely love because that just makes so much sense to me rather than waiting until you're in crisis point and then doing something about it. So this is why I'm passionate about this product and about sharing what it is doing because it is about that. So the Anespa means in-home spa. It removes harmful substances and it helps to remove like bacterias that can also get in through your skin. It also removes the chlorine, and the cartridge inside is a beautiful purification system that's charcoal and ceramic inside. And it also mineralizes your water. So what it does is adds 3 different minerals to the water, which I've written down here because I couldn't remember them all. It adds 3 different minerals to your water, like you are in a Japanese onsen that are nourishing for the skin, like tofu and Mike stone and power stone. And the water runs over those stones, and you're getting part of that in your water. And that is also what is nourishing for your body on a deep level. So it's a beautiful thing to shower in, and it's also great for your hair and your fingernails and everything as well. That's the Anespa. One of the other products they have is this particular Ukon, which is a organically grown turmeric. It's grown with the kangen water in a beautiful organic environment in Okinawa in Japan, which is where it's all produced. And you may or may not know, but turmeric has been revered as a high anti-inflammatory and anti-allergenic and antioxidant for many, many years. So that's another great product, but I'm not going to talk much about that tonight. So I mentioned before that not all water is equal. And as you're probably working out, wherever you travel, wherever you go in the world, it feels different. Water smells different, it tastes different, and it feels different, and depending on the source of water. where it's come from. And we all know that we've got tank waters, we've got bore waters, we've got tap waters, and tap waters are very, very different in even in different provinces in Australia and in different countries, depending on what they've been through, the processes they've been through to get to you. And most waters that we drink from a tap have been highly chlorinated because they have to be deemed safe to drink. So we know that there's a lot of chlorine. We're now working out that there's a lot of other toxicity in our waters, and a lot of plastics even are coming into our water systems because of the long-term plastic use that we have had around the world. So there's a lot of stuff in our waters, and I've found out recently that the US have just passed a water law of certain things they won't allow to come into their water system. And Australia, we have those things. So we don't even have the high safety security around water that they do there. Hopefully, we might follow suit, but yeah. And water is also different. Water is incredible. Water actually holds energy. And I don't know if you've heard this before, but water, they're saying that water can hold energy and feel energy, and it reacts differently. So it will react differently when it's coming out of a fresh spring, when it's aerated and it's hydrated and it's with the air, the sun, the trees and organic rocks, all of that, as opposed to when it's sitting stagnant in a dark, dark, rusty tank or rusty pipe. You can imagine the energy that it's taking on for those two things. So then when it gets to you, you are also taking in that energy. So that is quite a huge thing. So the machine or the company believes that you need to nourish your body with this electrolyzed reduced water, full of hydrogen rich, and it helps to reduce the oxidative stress in your bodies. And it also helps to reduce, as I mentioned before, the plastic waste or single-use plastic around the world because you're using it straight from your machine. And also it can reduce the chemical waste around the world as well, and the chemical use in your home, which then reduces the use around the world. So we're going to talk about that why. Because it produces these five main different types of water, and one of the ones that it's very known for is this 2.5. And this is also why this machine is very different to any other product that is on the market. It's because it produces this particular water. And this 2.5 is actually a hydrochloric acid it produces, like a very, very, very strong kind of chlorine almost. But it is a natural product that is non-toxic to humans and animals, and it actually kills 99.9% of germs, which is incredible. And this is how the product started, actually. It started in Japanese hospitals because it was a medically certified device in Japan, and they are still using it in Japanese hospitals now, and because of this water. So they use it to sterilize their equipment. They use it on wounds. They use it to help prevent golden staph infections. They use it for a whole lot of things, and we're going to go into that a little bit more. And yeah, it just says there that you can't actually buy hypochlorous acid on the shelf because it doesn't have a very long shelf life. And I've been asking about how long it does last. I've been working with a naturopath recently to research the product a bit more. And it does actually, the best way to store any of the water that comes out of the machine is in metal because it doesn't leach. The next best thing is in glass, and then obviously if you have to store it in plastic, you can, but plastic tends to leach and it can change slightly the chemical compound of the water sometimes. And the water can actually leach out of it, which I'll talk about that in a minute, which is interesting. So even if you've got glass and with a lid, and something dark it's gonna last longer in something dark as opposed to a clear or white bottle as well. But we reckon that it does have a smell, this water. It does actually smell like chlorine. And when that smell disappears, you pretty much know that it's not functioning at its optimal anymore. So you would probably reuse and get more out of the machine again. Yeah, so that's pretty much that, how that works, but it can last almost up to 2 weeks. So it's quite a long time. You can have it in a spray bottle and use it, and it kills all microbes. So you can soak your fruit, your vegetables, and your meat in it to kill any bacteria if you're concerned about that. Especially if something's been sitting in the fridge for a little while, you can use it for that. You can use it for all surfaces. In fact, I use it for cleaning all the time. I use it for my Airbnb. It's pretty much the most only water that I use because it really is a massive disinfectant and it's got a 2.5 stronger power than bleach for cleaning, which is really, really amazing. And it doesn't have that terrible toxic smell that bleach has. I'm not sure about you, but I get quite ill with that, with the strong bleach that's there. So it can work with mold. It works with germs, and it's very, very safe for us as humans and for animals. So you can use it to clean animal areas, any human waste. You can use it for that, for toilets, for showers, for sinks, that sort of thing. As it says there, you can soak baby dummies in it and things like that as well, tweezers, all of that sort of stuff. Yeah, and during COVID, sales went through the roof because it was an on-hand sanitizer. Basically, they could use it straight out of the tap as a hand sanitizer. And the interesting thing is it cleans rust spots, which is something I didn't really realize. But so you can clean, like I've got my bottle lid, which is really bad. You can see there's rust inside. You can actually use it for that, which I must do. And you can use it in the bottom of your sink to clean out the rust that sometimes gets around the bottom of the sinks and those sorts of things. Anything else that you can think of that it does need that. And it does actually work. I've used it around the base of the shower as well, and it's been really, really helpful. Um, and it's facial lifting and tightening, which is an interesting one. I have just started trying that, but it's really to tighten the skin, and you spray it on a little bit and you always rub up when you're doing something with your skin, because when we age, our skin tends to sag. So we don't want it to sag. So you just gently rub it up on the skin and you can let it dry, and then you can use the one we're going to talk about, 0.6 water in a minute, which is a beauty water that is to neutralize the skin. So yeah, you can use it for that as well. And you can also use it, I found out, on warts and on some moles on the skin. And what they're saying is you spray it on there for a while and then you cover it over with a band-aid or something, and you let that water sit on that mark, and it can help with that too. Fantastic for any wounds, any open wounds, any burns, any infections, stopping bleeding, stopping the sting of something straight away. I've had some testimonials recently of people using it with kids when they get bitten by a bull ant or they get stung by something, and you just spray it on straight away, and it takes that intense sting out of the bite, and it can also really, really increase the healing capacity. So I've used it on a heel cut of mine when I was living out in my caravan, and they're very difficult to heal cuts. And it literally within 24 hours, I wasn't feeling that it was getting worse and the pain wasn't there. So it is really, really quick to help the body do what it needs to do to heal. So it's brilliant for that. And oral health, fantastic for oral health as well. So you use this 2.5 water for gargling, basically. Wouldn't really swallow it. You could swallow a tiny little bit if you really wanted to, if you were feeling quite that an infection had started to go right down. But it's not recommended to do that often. But I use it for, I've had periodontitis and I've had receding gums and I've had an abscess behind my teeth as well. And I'm using it like a mouthwash every day. So you gargle and spit it out. And you can also use this if you're starting to feel sick, if you're starting to get a bit throaty or you think you're getting sick and a cold, you don't need anything else. You just gargle this water right down the back of your throat as many times as you feel like you want to. And it can often nip that bacteria in the bud so it doesn't go down into your system. So it's really brilliant, like an antiseptic, I suppose, or an interceptor for those sorts of things. Um, Yeah, so if you are gargling at the acidic water in your mouth, obviously you don't want to necessarily leave the acid on your teeth because of the enamel on your teeth. So you would then rinse your mouth out with something else afterwards. And it's interesting, it says there it helps to stop vomiting, which is quite interesting. I haven't actually had any experience with that yet. And I'm not sure if Kirsty or Tara have had experience with that. I might get, and if anyone's got anything to share at the end of this screen, I'll get you to share either in the chat or we can talk about it. And sinuses. So infected sinuses, you can spray it in the nose, and I've been using it at the moment because I've had a slight head cold. You just spray it up your nose and it can help clean out. Been talking about using a neti pot with it as well. I'm still finding out the information with that. Some people will know what a neti pot is. It's where you literally clean right out through the sinuses and through the nose. So I think it can be quite effective for that. And then you re-rinse out with another water afterwards. Yeah. Brilliant for nail funguses, which sounds bizarre, not only in humans, but in animals. So all of these things you can use with animals. You don't have to just use with humans. They're getting, I've had a few girlfriends with horses, particularly, and even dogs, and they're having amazing results with the wounds and even bot flies to help reduce the bot flies to get rid of them. Fungus on the feet of horses or sheep. Sometimes horses get fungus on their face. You can use it on that. They use it for pink eye. You can spray it. You can use it for eye infections, for styes. Once again, I suggest instead of using it when you've got a stye, I would soak something like a pad and then pat it on the eye. That would be the best way to use it for a stye, and it can seriously reduce that straight away. And as I mentioned before, a sore throat, a cough, those sorts of things. Poison ivy, that's basically you can help use it on any rashes on the body, and it slows down the itching and it helps to stop the red roaringness of a rash, and it can help heal it a lot quicker as well. And blisters and sores, all of those things, especially and animals as well. There's a woman, I was hoping she was coming on tonight, but she's not here. She's a nurse, and her testimony of to what she's been doing with wound healing is really quite extraordinary. Um, she has been working with people with diabetes who have quite often over time get quite large wounds that don't seem to heal. And she's been using this water and the 11.5 water, which we're going to talk about, to help heal. And she's been getting massive results, literally reductions in only 1 or 2 weeks of the wounds. So huge, huge success there. And she's also been using it with her own horses. So massive, massive success with wounds. And that's a big thing that they're using in Japanese hospitals too. And I mentioned that in moles or warts. So if anyone would like to share their own use of what they've done with acidic water, just let me know in the chat. And if you want to come out and share, that'd be great. So you can use it as a facial soap and hair conditioner. So I've started to experiment with that. I haven't done a whole lot with the hair. With the Anespa, which is the in-home bath or shower unit, you wash your hair with that because it produces a water that is very similar to your skin pH level, which is about 5 or 6 in your skin, and the water produces the same pH level, and that's why it's suited to your body and your skin. That's why it's good for your hair. And the zero point 0.6 water um, is really good to use on your hair as well. Um, I think we're talking about zero point 0.6 water now. Yes, we are. So that's why I'm using the pH of the skin. So you can actually use this as a conditioner, but don't use any chemical products first. So you just use just the water. So you use the water in the Anespa to wash with and to shower in your hair as a shampoo, and then you use this as a conditioner. So that reduces any use of plastics or containers with shampoos, those sorts of things. It's a fantastic detangler for kids or for anyone. And they're also finding that The 2.5 water, the acidic water, can be used to kill any lice in people's hair. And then you use the 6, this water, to comb out the lice after that. So it's pretty amazing what you can do just with this machine. Rashes, you can bathe pets for more lustrous coats, and they're finding it is fantastic for plants. It can actually revive plants that are looking like they're about to start dying. Um, and then it's interesting with eggs and pasta, and I found out why. You can use it for anything, for boiling anything, but it boils faster apparently. So that's what that's about. And this is a brilliant non-streak window cleaner or glass cleaner. So you can use it in the shower, use it on all your windows, anything there, on your car, all that sort of stuff. And it's really, really good for that. No streak, no smell, no chemical, no plastic bottle. Um, a fabric softener. So yeah, sometimes the 11.5 water, which I'm going to explain in a minute, is great as a detergent, as a degreaser. You use it in your washing machine, or you can use it in your uh, dishwasher as well. And then the zero point 0.6 water that we're talking about, that can be a fabric softener. So you need about 4 liters, and you just put it straight into your front top end loader, or if you've got a front loader, you can put it in the top bit, or sometimes you can just pour it straight in with the clothes. I have started to try the 0.6, but I haven't had much of a need for a softener. I've just been using the other water to wash it in. Replaces Windex, as it says, and you can use it to clean floors, hardwood. You can use it to clean laminate, tiles, all those sorts of things. So it's really brilliant for anything in that. So now we get to the drinking water, which is really, really powerful. So once the water, what I've also learnt, there's 3 different kinds of drinking water on this machine: 8.5, 9, and 9.5. And as you go up in pH level, it produces more molecular hydrogen. So it's not actually about the pH level, even though that's what it says on the machine. And pH is about alkalized, not alkaline. And there's a big difference. A lot of people are concerned about drinking alkaline or creating an alkaline environment in their stomach, and rightly so. We don't really want a high alkaline environment in our stomach. We want it, if anything, alkalized or alkalinity, and this is what this water does. It's not harming you, and it does not change your stomach acid. So your stomach acid is still the same when you drink this water, and like any water or substance, generally it's not recommended to drink with a meal. You drink half an hour before a meal and half an hour after. And the biggest reason for that is that your stomach acid is not diluted, and it can do its job with what you need it to do for digestion. So that is a general rule, but with this water, that's the same. So the numbers, the 8.5 up to 9.5, the water starts, this machine, because of its electrolysis process and the way that it restructures the hydrogen molecules, it produces molecular hydrogen. And molecular hydrogen is one of the smallest atoms that we have, and that can permeate the cells a lot easier than any other substance. So you're getting that incredible hydration on a cellular level in your body when you're drinking this water. And your cells need the water to rehydrate and to function and to regrow and reproduce effectively and efficiently. And every time they don't get their hydration needs met, they reproduce with slight differences, and that's the aging process basically that we have in our bodies. So yeah, it's really fascinating. But the higher, from 8.5, the machine starts to produce this molecular hydrogen. Under the 8.5, it actually doesn't produce molecular hydrogen. Hey, Justina. So under 8.5, you're not getting molecular hydrogen in your water. And when you go right up to 9.5, you're getting more molecular hydrogen. That's why that water is considered quite strong. And people who are starting out with this water, it's recommended that you start drinking only from 8.5. And if you have a very, very sensitive gut, you would start, hi, lovely, you would start on even on a 7. And children are recommended to start just on 7 because it's a clean, active, alive water. It's not stagnant, it's not dead. Like filtered water is actually a dead water. Good, but it's still and osmosis is also a good water, but it's also a dead, flat water. This is an active, alive water, and that's the difference in the energy that you're getting through that machine. So it will continually produce this electrolyzed reduced kangen water. And kangen, the word kangen means return to source. So return to origin, return to your original state of your body and return to origin of where water originated from. So it's trying to create the purest, most alive, active water that it can, and it removes lead, it removes chlorine, bleaching powder, effluvium, rust, and other impurities, but it maintains the essential minerals that it needs, that your body needs, but also it needs minerals in the water to create this ionization and molecular hydrogen process. So tank waters and some stagnant waters don't actually have, rainwater doesn't have minerals in it. It's often quite an acidic water drinking from a tank. So sometimes you can change the settings on the machine, which is what I've just worked out with mine, to be able to get this high level of molecular hydrogen water, and you slow the thing right down. Oh, Justine, I'll just get you to put yourself on mute, darling. Um, you can slow the stream of water right down, and that will also help the production of molecular hydrogen. So there's a couple of things you can do, and it is important though, depending on what water source you have, that you get a pre-filter that is according to what you need for your particular water. Yeah, so basically there's no risk of the benefits are experienced through the electric charge, and there's no risk of any buildup in the body through the electric charge in the water. It dissipates. You can use this water for any cooking, and sometimes people have used it in their cooking, and they've actually had feedback from people in restaurants that their cooking tastes better because they're using this particular water to boil, to cook, to add to their cooking and that sort of thing. So that's been interesting with what I've heard from there. People are using it for weight loss. Now, the interesting thing with that is it's basically because they're dehydrated. Most people are very, very dehydrated. Um, and dehydration over time causes a whole lot of issues. And the reason we need to drink so much water, and Trev, we were talking about this earlier, and I know that for a lot of people in their lives, it's not actually easy to drink 2 or 3 liters of water a day because it's not been their habit. And habits are a huge thing in actually using this machine properly when you're drinking it, to be able to get that level of hydration and sort of maintain that for your body. So yeah, the reason we need to drink water, and they recommend anyway, regardless of using this machine or not, in summer we need to drink and probably almost up to 3 or 4 liters sometimes, depending on where you are and how much you're exerting yourself. And in winter, around about maybe 2 liters plus. And I know that that's difficult for some people when they're not in the habit. So the reason you need to is because it plays such a vital role in the cellular reproduction in our bodies. It lubricates all of your joints in your body. It helps lubricate your eyes, in your mouth, all the soft parts of your body that you need fluid in. And it helps to flush and get rid of the waste so it doesn't build up in your system. And it maintains all your organs and all the your body temperature. It helps to do that. So when you're not drinking enough, your body and your organs have to work a lot harder to do all of those things. So that is one reason why we need water. We don't need tea, not coffee, not soft drink, not anything else. It's just water that will do the best for our bodies. So when we drink other things, we think, oh yeah, I've had fluid today. But when you put something in the water, it changes the quality and it changes the chemical components in the water that hydrate you on a cellular level. So pure water. So that's just a little tip on that one. So yeah, it's quite a thing to change your habits around actually drinking water, but the benefits, the health benefits and the longevity is huge. Um, oh yeah, just another little thing on hydration. A lot of illnesses and a lot of conditions over time actually come from being dehydrated long term. And that is a huge factor as to why I'm sharing this because that's about preventing. If you can do as much as you can to prevent those things from happening, you're going to be far better off. And even if you do have to have surgery or have to have something done, you're also far better off. Because my mum had to have surgery recently and she was so dehydrated from years of being dehydrated. They had to delay the surgery, which was caused, problems, and it could have been very, very serious because she was bleeding because they had to rehydrate her body first because it would not have coped with the surgery otherwise. So that's just a little tip in that regard. It can help with spider veins, and yeah, aromatherapy. You can spray it around the room, all that sort of stuff. So let's go into the next one. Has anyone got anything they'd like to share um, about any use of the water? Justine, have you got any uses that you'd like to share that you've used it for and it's been successful with you? You can pop it in the chat or you can take yourself off mute if you'd like to share. But maybe she's walking. Maybe she won't share now. That's okay. We can do that later. All right, so let's just go into the next one, which is pretty much the last one, and it's the 11.5 water. And this is a high alkalized water. So it's not recommended for drinking, although I have heard that with people who have got some cancers, some testimonials are that some people are drinking small amounts in the morning and small amounts in the evening, like, half or a third of a glass to help change the acidity levels in their body because cancer thrives in an acidic environment. And so anything that is high acid, and we have so much in our environment, in pollution, in the chemicals that are not only in our water but in our foods, in the chemicals we use in our homes that we breathe in pollution levels, even in EMFs or in all the radiation levels that we're getting. We have so many pollutants that can create an acidic environment and stress on our mental state and our physical state. And that also produces acidosis in the body. And that in itself can cause so many other illnesses. So to be able to lower the acidity in our bodies is a huge component in helping to reduce inflammation, to reduce um, allergies, and to reduce a whole lot of things. So this water can help a little bit, well, a lot with that. And you can use it to spray on external areas of cancer cells as well. Like you can use it on your melanoma things. You can pad them out and see if it can help reduce it. Another woman I know has been using it on her horse and he had cancer on his skin. She's been using this water externally on him and it's seriously reduced the sore that was there, that was a cancer on its skin. You can use it for sleep. So this is one of the things I think I was going to share with someone who was having trouble sleeping. Half a glass before bed. It helps to release melatonin for a better night's sleep. So you can give that a go to try if you've got a machine. Using it as an eye wash to clean out any dirt, any structures in the eye, if you've got something in your eye, all of those things. If you've got a sty, if you've got a pimple, if you've got anything, really, really good to use for that. And if you get grease in your eye or paint. So because this is a degreaser and an emulsifying water with its high alkalinity content, it removes oils and pesticides from all vegetables and fruits as well. So it's great to soak your veggies if you're not buying organic. Even if you are, they still use some sort of pesticides there. It's great to soak your veggies, and you'll often find, particularly with, say, strawberries or grapes, because they have high amounts of chemicals sprayed on them. I think the statistic I read was something like 64 different chemicals and sprays by the time it gets to the supermarket shelf, which is pretty scary. And then over time, once again, we are ingesting all of that into our bodies, and that builds up as toxicity in our bodies. And our bodies, organs have to work a lot harder to get rid of all of that. So this 11.5 water, you soak your veggies in that and it for about 5-10 minutes, and it can take away 86 or 89% of the pesticides from your veggies and your fruit. So that's pretty amazing, a great thing to do. And people use it as a makeup remover because it's a degreaser. So it's brilliant for that, removing makeup. And another thing is interesting, puffy eyes. So if you wake up with puffy eyes in the morning, you can use a little bit of this, once again, dabbing it on the surface around your eyes, and it just slowly reduces that inflammation, because that puffiness is an inflammation. And it's used in baths like an Epsom salts. So you can put like about 3 or 4 liters of it in your bath to help with as a muscle relaxant in the bath, which is brilliant. And speaking of muscle relaxants, the drinking of the kangen water and getting that hydration and that high level of molecular hydrogen is absolutely used for muscle recovery, less muscle fatigue, and it's really good in for sports, for any sports and injury recovery. So drinking the water is huge for so many things. They're just going back to that again. I've just been researching because of the qualities that it has, it can reduce inflammation, exercise, it can increase exercise performance, it even your energy levels. And I know myself, I have a lot more energy on this. I don't fade in the afternoons like I used to drinking this water. It can even help your cardiovascular protection because your heart is getting what it needs from it as well. So yeah, and they've actually done studies on molecular hydrogen with rheumatoid arthritis, with diabetes, with Parkinson's, with dementia. Because of the molecular structure of the hydrogen, it can actually pass and penetrate through the blood-brain barrier. And that is one of the only substances that will do that. That's why it can help with dementia. So that's another little thing I've just been learning. So yeah, going back to our 11.5 water, it even helps with snoring, which is interesting as a nasal spray. Um, Heat burn, indigestion, you can have a little bit, you can use a little bit like a quarter, drink a quarter of it or something to help with indigestion and all that heartburn or reflux if you're getting that sort of thing. Um, Using it as a bug spray repellent. I haven't actually tried that myself, but they say that it is good for that, keeping them away, keeping the insects away, and you could use it as a spray on surfaces also so that you don't get the bugs on the surface of your wherever you bench or wherever you're doing as well. Arthritis, it's great to have a little drink of it for gout, arthritis, and muscle tissue and soreness. So you can soak in it, and you can also have tiny bits to drink as well. And if you are drinking soft drinks or alcohols or acidic drinks, you can make ice cubes out of this water and help offset the acidity, which is a really great thing to do. So pretty much, I think this is probably our last slide, guys. I know I've been doing a lot of talking. So yeah, soaking any legumes, any rices, any things like that in it also helps to soften and give it a good quality. Um, and I mentioned before, I use it as a laundry soap. So I don't use any detergents anymore. I just use this 11.5 water. I put about a litre in my machine. I've got a like that machine there. I've got a front loader, so I just pop it into the drawer, and that's all I use. And I use that for my Airbnb. I use it for sheets. I use it for everything. And to get stains out of clothing, I got some beetroot actually out of my daughter's pants. I soaked the pants in the 11.5 and then I just did I actually had to rub them together like you might already, but it worked. It got the stains out of the clothes and it got a grease stain off my son's top as well that had been there for ages. So it's pretty powerful just using the water. And you can use it on to clean the stove. You can use it for the fan to clean the fan that often gets the grease all up in the fan. It's amazing what comes out when you put it in the sink. And this water is all cold. None of this water is hot. It's all cold coming out of the machine because you don't put hot water through this particular machine. So even with cold water, it's a grease emulsifier. It's brilliant. Use it for the shower, use it for heaps and heaps of things, ovens, clogged sinks. So you don't need Drano, you don't need any sink cleaners, anything like that. Using it for that, any grime anywhere, and using it as a silver polish. I haven't tried that, but to rejuvenate your jewels, rejuvenate whatever you've got, you can soak your jewelry in the water and then rub it and clean it. And because it's a emulsifier, you can use it in paint to thin any paints that you might need as well. And the bottom one, the 19, removes greasy, gooey, gummy things like, people get chewing gum in their hair or something. And the story I heard the other day is one woman accidentally stuck her fingers together with super glue and she soaked them in the 11.5 and she managed to get them apart without tearing any skin. So anything you can think of, pretty much, you can use the water for. So that just reduces any other chemicals that you might be using for first aid, for cleaning, for even in the garage, to clean tools, to clean paintbrushes, you can use the water, all of those things. So you can reduce a whole lot of toxic chemicals in plastic that usually come in plastic. So you can reduce plastic waste and chemical waste that goes down the drain often or on the grass or then slowly finds its ways into our waterways. So you're helping by using this machine, it's an all-in-one. You're helping to reduce the toxic waste on the planet in your home, create a healthier, toxic-free, chemical-free home. And you're also increasing your health in so many ways, long term and preventing. So when we're talking the price of a machine over 25 to 30 years of all of those benefits, the average household will save anywhere from $50 to $200 a month on all the other things that they might purchase that they wouldn't need to purchase if they're using the machine properly. And over time, you're saving so much money and you're helping your health and your family's health because also every time you use chemicals, you're breathing them in and it's going into your body that way. And that's what happens in the shower when you're showering in chlorine, in the heat, your pores of your skin open more. And so you're absorbing more and you're also inhaling it as well. So there's a whole lot of things there. So we might pop everybody on. I think that was my last slide. Yep. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and we'll pop anyone who would like to share, if Laura or Justina or Kirsty would like to do a quick share or a testimonial about how you guys have found, because I know you guys have got machines, how you've found using the products if are using the different waters. Would anyone, Kirsty, would you like to share?
No.
Yeah.
It's amazing to see the detail of what you just shared again because um I know that like I haven't even touched the surface on really utilizing the machine to the extent you've just described. And there's some there that you mentioned that I hadn't heard of before as well. And so what comes to mind is like, like yes, it's a lifestyle change, but as you start to what I experienced with it when I started to use the 6.0 water on my skin and I was just starting to use it for these different uses. it just elevated my appreciation of having the machine in my house, So, and there's no question for me about how good I feel drinking, excuse me, the 9.5 water. Like I can really feel the hydration in it, in my
Yeah,
skin,
you've
and
just noticed that
like
change. You've come from one environment
totally,
now, haven't you?
yeah. And
Yeah.
and then yeah, just sort of, if you're feeling tired or what have you, and then you have a glass of this, and you just feel that elevation and hydration in the body, which yeah, you can kind of feel when you drink a glass of water, but it really is significant with this.
Mm,
Um, yeah.
thank you. That's fantastic. And Laura's just said in the chat, she says, she's been using it to soak her veggies in, and she said, and they also last longer. And that's another thing I didn't mention, that you can not only soak them, but you can spray them, and they can last longer in the fridge. And if you're freezing any meats, you can spray the meat in the 11.5 before freezing it, and it will keep its flavor better as well. So that's another thing. That's just incredible. Thank you, Laura, and thank you, Kirsty. Is there anybody else that might like to share? Oh, Justine has already gone. There was a couple of other people I was hoping would come on to share their testimonials, but yeah. So I've noticed lots of things, and I've started to implement a lot of the other uses, as you said, Kirsty. It is a lifestyle. You have to sort of weave it in to how you've done things before and slowly start to actually use the product. Yeah, but if you use it to its full capacity, it's pretty incredible what it does. And I've definitely used it for the degreasing. I've found it really, really effective in cleaning the stove, in cleaning the shower, in cleaning even paintbrush. I've used it for a paintbrush and I didn't think it was going to work very well, but it did. And then even just finding that for stain removing, that was incredible that I don't have to use any of those toxic sprays to stain remove or anything like that. Might have to do a little bit more of, a little bit more of that, a little bit, but it still got it out, which was just incredible. I thought that was amazing. So yeah, so many things. And I think from a health perspective, the biggest thing, you can actually have a bit of a detox when you start with this water, which is not uncommon to get headaches or to feel a bit strange on the water. That's why they recommend to start for a week on one and then slowly build up to the higher molecular hydrogen water. Um, because you're actually having a detox. It's like your whole system has to rejig itself and get used to this water. So people with, oh, that's what I didn't say. It actually does support chemotherapy and radiation therapy. So people who've been through those therapies, who've been drinking the water, have come through those therapies a lot better. Some people have even not even lost their hair, which is extraordinary. These are all testimonials, but because everybody is different and everybody will react differently. So it's very important that you have to see how it feels for you. But these are things that we know in our community of people who've been using this water, what's happened to them. Um, and that they're so much more hydrated because all of those therapies are often very dehydrating for the system, very harsh on your cells, and they have to work hard to compensate. So if you can nourish your body with good food, good water, it's the best thing that you can do to prevent and to heal and to, I believe, just in every way. Sometimes it'll be quantifiable, and sometimes perhaps you won't know. But there are tests that you can do before you start drinking the water. If you want to, you can go to naturopaths, you can get your bloods done, you can get certain levels of things in the blood tested, and then after drinking it 6 months down the track, sometimes people have found that those levels have changed. I don't know what they do. I'd have to find out more about it. But I know people who are into naturopathy and nutrition have actually gone and done those, and they've noticed massive changes in their bloods and things like that in a good way. So there's lots of things that you can do to trial it, to test it over time. And yeah, for me, it was a no-brainer to just go, yep, that's what I need to feed my body because some of the water that I've been privy to over time is just horrendous. And even when you're buying bottled water in some countries, because you don't have access to tap water or you can't drink it anyway, you know that it's been sitting in a plastic bottle in the sun and that's leached in it. So that is a huge thing. Oh, yeah, one more thing I'll just share before we go. That I found out is that because when I travel around, I don't often take the machine if I'm going away for a couple of days or we're camping or we're bike riding or something. I've been taking, 20-litre containers to use and share. I found out that the molecular hydrogen is so small that it can actually leach out of the plastic. And so you're not getting the molecular hydrogen anymore. But I haven't found out how much time that takes. So it might take a couple of days, but it is actually such a small molecule that it can't be contained by plastic, which is pretty extraordinary. So the best way to have it is fresh out of the machine. That's when you're getting the best results. So yeah, thank you everyone. If anyone else would like to share, let me know. Otherwise, we might finish the recording and the information session there. And thanks so much for coming, those who joined live, and thanks to everyone who's listened to the recording. If there's any other information that you would like, or you would like to discuss it further, or you'd like to trial the water, just let me know and reach out. Yeah, I'm really passionate about it now. I've been doing a lot more research. It's been an amazing journey, and I'm still on it, and I'm still going to find out more, I'm sure. So, thanks everybody.